Chosen ones. It's late. No, you can't come in here. My video. Yes, I'm live right now. Just chit chatting. Chosen ones. I'm up late, waiting for my son to go shower so I could take myself a shower. Mm. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Hey, Keisha. Miss Kiosha, I'm sorry. Kiosha. Girl, I don't have anything to talk about, really. I just came back just to share a little bit of information with y'all. I shared it with the group, but I forgot to share it here when I was on earlier. So I said, let me come back. I knew it was late. Hey, Jacqueline, how are you, dear? I know that's when I really, had something really important to say. But tonight, I'm just here to chit chat, just late night. What's going on? My son will take care of his business. Yes, I do. This my family. You can shower in peace. I feel this is real life. How are you doing, Jacqueline? I'm well. I am well. So we come back late night and talk to the chosen ones. If you have any questions, you can always ask me questions. But I came to let you all know that I'm working on a few projects, right? I'm working on a few ebooks, and also I will be opening back up my coaching sessions. So I just made a lot just for that. You know, like, ebook, and I will be opening back up. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Listen, this is my second day yesterday. I shared with the group, so they kind of moved it on to. I think I mentioned it here a few times. They kind of lock up. So I'm excited about the journey. Got to get used to the look, but I think it's cute so far. Look, I just got to get used to not being able to, you know, I can't do anything to it right now. I can't get it wet or anything for the next 30 days. So let's see. Yeah. I look forward to it because I know my hair is going to grow fast. I've always had hair to grow real, my hair has always grown fast and it's real thick. Thank you, Kiosha. If I said I always wanted to lock up, I wanted to do sister locks. Then I said, when I had my lock extension, that really forced me to, do the regular locks. So I'm excited. I need something new. I always want to change. I don't like staying, because when my hair cut short, my hair used to be, past my shoulders. When I had relaxed hair before I did the big chop years ago, my hair was very long, and I let it grew out, let the new growth grow out, and then I did the big chop. I think right around when I was in graduate school. Hold on, hold on. Let me see. I got something going on in the back. Hold on. I got some stuff going on in the background here on my computer. Hold on one second. Um, let's see. Um, okay, so, hold on. I got some stuff going on in the background. No, I actually hear it on my computer. You guys probably can't hear it, but I hear. Hold on. Let me see if I can find how. Hold on, you all. I got. Oh, I don't know how to get this. Hold on. I may have to go out and come in. Hold on. Okay, I think I did it. What, Kiosha? Girl, I'm trusting this process. Listen, I didn't sit down there all them hours. Can you hear me? Y'all can hear me. I had to go out and close out my other live. I had too many windows open. I heard my other live from earlier in the background. Listen, listen, I'm gonna tough this thing out. Listen, I look how I look. I'm like, mm-mm. I had to tough this out. I said, you know what? Hey, they're gonna have to accept me as I am. I accept myself, so they're gonna have to accept me for how I am. Okay, I'm gonna tough this on out. I'm gonna tough this on out. Even my son, let me tell you, my son, he's 12, right? So when he I don't know why I'm gonna tell y'all this because this real life. I can't run from this stuff. So I went to pick up my son. He didn't see how I looked when I got my hair done. So he gonna tell me I look like a Travis Scott from the Dollar Tree. He told me I look like Travis Scott from the Dollar Tree. I'm like, first of all, what do you know about Travis Scott? Okay. But he was like, Mom, you look like I said, this little boy, I tell you, he say things out of his mouth. For real, Jacqueline. I'm like, because he got to get used to it. He was like, Mom, you always change your hair. And I know that about him, right? He always say, Mom, you always change your hair. Like when I first did my big chop from cutting my hair from being relaxed, shoulder length, I think it was probably about right here when I cut. It was growing so long too. So when I did the big chop, the kids had to get used to it. They were like, Mom, because they were used to me having hair. So so when I did the big chop, it was an adjustment, right? So exactly. So I told him, I said, you'll get used to it. My son, he gonna say what he needs to say. He's just too funny for me. I say he's too funny. When I told him, I said, you'll get used to it. So when I got my locks, when I got my lock extensions, he had to get used to it. Because I'm always switching up. Before he was born, I used to always switch up. I kind of stopped. For real. Kiosha, girl, these kids are something else. He keep the house going though. Um, Even before I had him, I always changed. Exactly, right? I'm trying to teach him so when he get married, he'll be used to his wife switching up. One day she got curly hair, the next day she comes, she got all of it chopped off. Then she chop it all off just to put a wig on. Like he gonna have to be prepared for this type of stuff. But yes, and I was getting ready to say yes, I'll be opening back up my coaching sessions, and I'm working on some ebooks, and basically the ebooks are the first one I'm working on is the one about management, like how to deal with managers who are difficult, narcissistic managers, how to rise above like the petty office politics. And then I got quite a few books. That's the one I'm working on. That's the main one I'm working on right now. Exactly, Jacqueline. We be changing up. Yeah, we change up on them quick. But that's what I want to come back and say about the coaching sessions and the ebooks. I did mention it to my group members as I've stated earlier, but I just wanted to let you all know, and I forgot to put it in, at the end of my live, because when I come on, I don't be thinking about mentioning stuff. To be honest, I be trying to get the message out, and that's that. I don't be trying to think about nothing about coaching, nothing about ebooks, and I just be focused on the message, and that's it. So I had to come back and let you all know, so you can be prepared or ready if you're interested. Yeah. So I hope you all are having a wonderful night. I'm still up. Usually I'm not up. Well, I am up this late. But last night I went to sleep early. I was just too tired. I had been out all day And then I went to, get my locks installed. And then I came home. I'm like, you know what? I am not staying up working. Because usually I'll be home working on something in my business, trying to write, writing down ideas and journaling. I'm always doing something. So last night my body was like, you need to go to sleep. You got to listen to your body. When your body says tired, get some rest. Get some rest. Oh, yeah, Jacqueline, I won't be talking about too much there. You're not going to miss too much. You can always get the replay. Got to make sure you listen. When your body tell you to rest, you rest. You like, you know what? I come back to responsibility. Monica, I'll see you tomorrow. Look, I'll come back to you tomorrow. Yes. But you have to get some rest. I know I'm trying to work on taking myself to sleep earlier. Usually, I don't know if it was just me, but there was a time in my life where I used to go to sleep at 9:30. I used to be in the bed by 9:30, by 10 o'clock, really. I used to be in the bed by 10 o'clock. I used to be in the bed at 9:30 and sleep by 10. And I used to get up at 4, 4:30. I used to walk, work. I had my routine. It was a couple years ago, a year or so ago. And then life just started getting crazy. Oh, okay, Jacqueline. Life started getting crazy. Then, you kind of get out of routine. Um, but I used to go to sleep. And I tell you, when you go to sleep early, that's some of the best sleep. When you go to sleep early before 11 o'clock, it's just something about being well rested. Well rested. They used to have these people, they used to be like, team no sleep. No, you got to get you some sleep now. Now you can go to sleep early and get up early. You can't be missing out on your sleep, because if you are not getting proper rest, you could become that mess up your mental. When you're not resting properly, it really mess up your mental. Yep, you can send yourself into a depression. I mean, so many things could happen when you're not getting proper rest. Go to getting sick, and the only thing people need to do is rest. Put that phone down and shut that TV off and rest. That's why I don't have a TV in my room. Y'all have a TV in your bedroom? I don't have a TV in my bedroom. Nowadays, you really don't need a TV because people have their phones, and that's something I have to work on. But I don't have a TV in my bedroom. Like, I need to, because sometimes I'll be on my phone, like answering and replying to different posts and messages and stuff. But I try to get my rest. Try to wind down. I try to put my phone down so I can wind down. hmm And it is. I'm not going to lie. It is hard. It is hard sometimes because you're so used to your phone. Your phone. You got your alarm on your phone. You got the clock on your phone. You got your calendars on your phone. Like, your phone is like your everything now. You have your reminders. You have your notes. You have your to-do list. You have your Oh wow, Jacqueline, that is a lot. And you used to get up that early to commute. Oh my goodness. And that's another thing. I know we have to do what we have to do. Yes, you get burned out quick. That's what I was going to say. I know we have to do what we have to do. When we're getting up early like that to go to work. Just imagine. That's why I say time is short. Just imagine. You got to work to take care of your family. I get that. I know you have to go to work, take care of your family, but at the same time, it's like, look how much time we have. We have what, 24 hours in a day. Let me do my little math. We got 24 hours in a day, right? And say you work. Okay, we got 24 hours in a day. You work 8 hours a day. That's 16 hours left, right? And then it takes you 2 hours to get to work and from work. That leaves you at 14. How do we have all this? Where do we find the time? If you have children and a family, where do you get the time? You know what I'm saying? To take care of yourself, time to try to take care of the house. People don't understand um how much time we spend, like, on things like commuting to work, you're sleeping. You got to get your at least 8 hours of sleep. I see why a lot of women, are burned out. You know what I mean? Like, um, all right, Cheryl, good night, dear. And I hope you're safe over there in Chicago. Me too, Jacqueline. I used to work in there, worked in healthcare for 21 years. Not a nurse, but I worked more on the administrative side. Look, you got 24 hours in the day, minus the 8, minus the 2, right? Then you get home. Let's say you got to help your child with homework. That's probably an hour to 2 hours. It depends on the child. You got to cook. Look, you got to cook. Um, depending on how early you get up and when you cook, how creative you could be. It's like you only have 12 hours left. You got to bathe. You got to prepare for the next day. It's like, where do you find the time? Where do you find the time? That's why I'm like, Lord, I don't know how I did it. Like, how can you? And that's another thing. Like, times have changed so much to where, how our grandparents, they were able to stay home and take care of their children and raise their children and instill morals and values in them. Like nowadays, you trying to instill morals and values, but you send them to school 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 6 hours, and the school is instilling their morals and values. Like what you're trying to put in your children, you send them to school, and it's just offsetting what you're trying to teach. And it's almost like, like you can't win you can't win. Period. You can't win. And it's so much people don't understand. Like it's like when it's hustle and bustle, hustle, 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 hustle. And that's why I think most of the time, we're losing our children because we send them to school and we're relying so much on school to, to teach them and parent them and all of this because we're working, especially if you're a single mom or a widow and you don't have a village. It's different. It is so different now. It is different. And that's what I was thinking about. I'm like, back in the days when um back in the days when you had the village, helping with the children. There's nothing perfect in no situations, but at the same time, at least you had help. Now you don't have the help. You got to pay for everything. Parents got to work to keep food on the table for their children. It's either they work or be homeless. It's either they work or be homeless. And most parents, and that's what the children don't understand. Children don't understand, like they don't understand the dynamics of responsibility. Some of the children, right? Their children now are so caught up and they don't understand, and they don't understand how tough it is for parents. No, they didn't ask to be in the situation they were in, or maybe they have made a choice, right? Let's be responsible. Maybe they have made decisions to put themselves in that in that predicament, whatever predicament they're in. But at the same time, children don't understand sometimes that although I know you have um this event going on, you got a basketball game, I want to be there for you, to attend your school event. But if I don't go to work, if I don't work, we won't have a shelter, we won't have a roof over our heads, we won't have a home to come home to. And I know sometimes parents, we don't like putting kids in our business, but I think it's important that we communicate with our children. um we communicate with them and let them know certain things. No, you don't put them in everything, but I think you should let them know certain things, especially if you're a single mom. Try to be as open as possible because children formulate their own ideas and what their perceptions. They formulate that based on what they think, you know, what they think of what somebody else is feeding them. And I think we need to communicate and keep that dialogue open with the children. Yes, I would like to be there, but I can't be there because I have to work, right? And I need to work so we can keep a roof over our heads. I don't want us to be homeless. I don't want us to have to stay on the streets. I don't want us to have to, go stay with Auntie Poo Poo or whoever, you know. So yeah, it is. It's challenging. Yeah, it's challenging for some. And I can understand. And it'd be scary. That's why I say we got to lean on God. Like especially if you're a single mother, or I won't say a single mother, if you're a widow or um I got Chicago in the house. Chi-town. I've never been to Chicago. Yeah, especially if you're a single mom. It's hard for parents. I don't judge anyone's situation, but I can understand. I can empathize. I can put myself. One gift God gave me, and I appreciate it. I'm able to insert myself in someone else's situation. I'm able to insert myself in someone's situation and have empathy for them and have understanding. Have understanding. Because it is tough. It's hard. It's like, and people sometimes be so hard on folks and like they should have made better decisions. They should have did this. They should have did that. You don't know a person's situation. You don't know a person's situation. You don't know where these people are mentally. You don't know the choices they had to make, or it's just like you don't know folks' situation. Like my grandmother said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. If you can't help and assist the person, just don't say nothing. If you're not there to meet a need, just don't say anything. Don't try to ask them, well, how did you get there? What did you do? No, if you're going to help, you're going to help. You don't have to get all the details. If you're going to help somebody, help somebody. That's just like giving a homeless person or a person who's begging money, and then you tell them, don't go buy no beer with it. Don't go buy this, there, or that with it. It's not your job to monitor what they do with what you're giving them. Because when you give, you're not giving to that person. You're giving unto God. That's what I look at. If I see anyone beg, and I don't care if now I use my discernment. I use my discernment. I use my discernment. Is he okay? What he doing? Oh. Oh. Trying to scare him? I just told him. Oh, that's okay. Um when I was saying, oh yeah, I use my discernment. Thank you, baby. I use my discernment now if I'm giving, because sometimes you can't be winding. You can't be winding. Your window down. You can't be winding down your windows in certain areas. Let's say you wind down that window and get snatched up out that car. No, you got to use your discernment. Yes, they speak the truth, Cheryl. They really do. That's why if anything you want to know, ask a child. Ask a child. They're so innocent and pure until the enemy trying to contaminate them. And a lot of times when we were younger, we used to get whoopings. We used to get beat for being honest. We used to get whoopings for being honest as children. We're only children. And how do you know you're supposed to stay in a child's place when you're just being innocent? Look, you don't know what that means, stay in a child's place. If you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like you see these children on the internet going viral. One little girl, I guess her father or something was talking to her. It was a mother, father, or mother, and she's looking like something is stink. These kids are innocent. We can't beat the innocence out of these children and fuss and we can't do that. That's why I just laugh because growing up, the things my son tells me, and my daughters, my children tell me, like my daughters and my son, the things they would tell me or mention to me, just out of innocence and just being pure. When I was growing up, I would get a whooping for that type of stuff. I'd get hit in the mouth just for being honest and pure and a child. I would get hit in the mouth. They'll shoot you down quick. They'll shoot you down quick. And we try to shish these kids. I remember my son he was about maybe 6. I want to say 6. And I had went to this event with family. And yeah, I went to this event with family. And my son was just, these kids don't know. And I'm not trying to get on this subject because this is not the point. This is not the point. People can do and live how they want to. But I just wanted to mention how innocent children are. They don't understand, all this confusion that's going on. And I have a brother who, I guess cross-dress, whatever you want to call it. He live an alternative lifestyle. So my son asked him, Uncle such and such, what are you trying to do? Blend in with the girls? And I was honest and blatant and honest with my son. I said, yes, he's trying to blend in with the girls. Because my baby is innocent. Why shish him when he's looking at this big ball of confusion? Why try to silence a child when these children don't know? These children trying to understand the world. So you can't shish them because they're honest. They're honest, right? But I want to make that point to let you know that kids are honest. They don't, look, they don't know. They just, and that's why the enemy is after these kids. The enemy is trying to confuse these kids because they don't want the children to know the truth. They just want these children to think this is normal, and it's not normal. My baby was young, and he was like, something's not right. Look how innocent and pure that was. He wasn't taught. Yes, he wasn't taught. He just knew something is not right with this situation. Something isn't right. And I didn't lie to my baby. I didn't try to say, shh, don't say that. No, my baby, he needs to know the truth. He needs to know the truth. And they do. No. Mm-mm. No, you get a whooping, Jacqueline, you're gonna speak in the truth. Back in them days, they whoop you by just opening your mouth. Look, these kids trying to figure life out. And we sitting here trying to make it seem like it's normal. No, these kids trying to understand. They trying to see what's the truth and what's not. Because the truth is going to be what you accept. That's what the truth is going to be the children. What you accept, what you accept in their life. If you don't tell them that certain things are not wrong or certain things is, a person's choice, but this is not right, they're going to believe what you tell them. Mm-hmm. No, I don't know, Jacqueline. I don't know where you grew up, but no, when you told the truth, they'll hit you in the mouth because you're not being in. You're not in a child's place. Look, you got to stay in the child's place. We know half of our parents and grandparents trauma parented, which wasn't all bad, but they trauma parented. They really didn't, they told us things and made us do things and really didn't explain it to us. So we were kind of left to figure things out. And you know, that left us confused and, you know, and stripped that stripped us down to where sometimes we don't know how to speak up. You know, it's kind of like our voices were taken. I did a video about this a few months ago. It's kind of like they took our voice from us. You know what I mean? Like because they told us to do things and really didn't explain, right? We were just told to do it, and that was that, whether it was wrong or right. And you only had to depend. You only had that to depend on, right? You only going by what your parents told you. So if your parents tell you to do something that's wrong or uncomfortable, you still had to do it because your parents said to do it. You have to listen. You can't go against what they say, and rightfully so, because we were raised up on, you got to honor and respect your parents. So that's what we were doing. Exactly, Kiosha. Yes. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't raise my kids like that. I raised them to, to speak up and open their voice. Like my daughters, I let them say, like, you know, their dad say that, he kind of disagreed in a way, like that wasn't the right thing to do. But I'd rather for them to be able to speak up when they need to than to sit there and let people, you know, do and say whatever and they don't speak up. And you still have to use your discretion. You still have to use wisdom when you speak up. But at the same time, I don't want them to be afraid. So I didn't raise them how I was raised. I just let them, if they express they didn't like something or didn't agree with something, or I just I didn't let them. I didn't silence them, so to say. At least I don't think I did. I have to ask them, did I silence them? Jewett, come here. You feel like I silence y'all as children?
No.
No, as
you let us talk.
Oh, okay. Like if y'all say something, I'll be like, shut up, or
no.
Oh, okay.
Huh? Now we're talking too much.
Yeah.
Like, okay now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But not just like
still doing it?
Silence. Yeah, I'm still live. He okay. She's not on camera. Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I asked you because I know Jayla. She gonna.
Anyway.
Justin, now that's nasty. Now I'm on camera.
Huh? Mom, that's audio. They wouldn't see me burp.
No, they can hear it.
Yeah, I know.
That's gross.
I said audio, Mom. Mom, burping is natural.
I know, but you don't have to do it loud. If I'm on live, you don't have to do it loudly. Yeah, Kiosha, I try to too, but there's still things that your children would not tell you. Even if you create a safe space, there's still kind of this. I don't know. I can't tell my mama that, because I try to create that, and I know my children, my girls, they still don't tell me certain things. They think I don't know, but they still don't tell me. I don't want them to tell me everything, but I just want them to tell me the important things. Like, if they feeling down or, depressed, or they got some, what I'm saying, something going on mentally, or they feel scared. I want them to tell me stuff like that. Right? What do you want, boo boo?
I already go outside. She wants the heater probably. Or heater.
No, leave her alone. So, but because we did it, we went to our friends about things. Although me and my grandmother was close, it was still certain things I didn't talk to her about. I just felt like my friends, I don't know, I felt like they were my equal and they knew. I don't know, but I just felt comfortable with asking my friends certain things over going to my parent. But I try to remind my kids to come, if they're not sure, especially about life-changing things, like please just come ask mommy. Even if I don't agree, I'd rather for them to talk to me than to go talk with someone and they don't make the best, make the best decision, you know? And it is hard. It's hard being a parent. Some people say it's easy. It's not easy being a parent. I don't know what type of parenting y'all got going on who says easy. It is not easy being a parent. Mm-mm. Oh no. It is not easy because parents, you have worries that people who don't have children, they don't have worries, you try not to worry, right? But you still be concerned about certain things, right? You be concerned about certain things when it comes to your children and their future and decisions they make. And though they're not going to be perfect, that's what I had to rest in. I had to rest in knowing they're going to have to learn from life and the life difficulties. Christy, that's funny. Oh, wow. Yeah, them kids, we be changing up on these kids, confusing these babies. Yeah, we change up on them. My son Show told me. Look like he don't got a mama from Wish.
I say you look like a Travis Scott.
I told him Travis Scott, a Dollar Tree.
It smells like pie weird, like pumpkin pie.
That's the air freshener. But they're innocent. 'Cause one minute we be looking one way, the next minute we looking another. But he surely would have been confused if he was brought up with his brother. Because when my son was little, I used to get my hair changed. I used to change my hair all the time. Exactly. Exactly. That's why I was like, and that's the reason I went with lock Cheryl, because once they grow out, I can, still diversify. Because if I wasn't able to be diversified with my hair after it grows out, I wouldn't have no, I wouldn't be getting locks because I don't like having the same style. I like to change up. I really do. Yeah, I think I've been natural since 2015 because I used to wear my hair relaxed. Yeah, since 2015. Yep. And I did the big chop. Well, I had a little old fro and I did the big chop. I went from having long hair one day to being the little baby fro the next. Mhm. Yeah, I like to switch up. I can't wait till they grow out. Yep. Hmm. I know, right, Cheryl? These kids are funny. They'll tell you the truth. You want to know the truth, the true answer, ask a child. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Oh, they will tell you. Kids are innocent. They have no filter. They have no filter. And see, people get mad at kids. You can't get no attitude with a child. I've seen people get mad at children. I've seen adults get mad, have a full blown attitude, and be mad at a baby for telling the truth. I've seen it. I've seen people get mad at children for being children and being innocent. They're going to say kids are going to play. They're going to be, they're going to do pranks. You know, I've seen people get mad at children because they've told the truth. Only thing you have to do is accept it and move on. Accept that truth and move on. Oh, I can't believe it's 12:10. I need to go take myself and take a shower. I need to go get myself in the shower because I got to get up and work out tomorrow. I've been consistent with my workouts. I'm proud of myself. I really have been consistent. Even with my arms, I've been, cause this was a little jiggly. Now it's not jiggly anymore because I've been working on my arms. I used to have the little jiggly arms. I said, I need to start working out. I start working out a little bit at a time. We got to do a little bit at a time. I'm saying all these double numbers, Lord. Just saw 8, 8, 10, 10. It was All these double numbers, Lord. Hmm. Why are you guys still up? Listen, I'm still up because I was waiting for my son to get out of the bathroom, and I didn't want to go in the other one. We got some night owls here, but yeah. Look, now it's 12:12. These numbers, Lord. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready to take myself to bed so I can get up in the morning, go work out, and then yeah. I'm glad y'all came back with me. You see, I'm just chatting, nothing much. Yeah, them kids, yeah, they're innocent. I think it'd be fun, especially with my son. He just say, he's just truthful. He's truthful. I rather for him to be that way than to just be afraid to say anything. I just laugh at him. I laugh at him. He keep the house going though. Yeah, I don't think if he wasn't here, I don't think we'll be as lit. The house be lit when he here. It'd be too lit. Cause he gonna always be doing something, aggravating somebody, harassing the cat, running after the cat, chasing it all. He just being a boy, That's what boys do. Well, you all, let me take myself to bed, go take me a shower, wrap my hair if I can't wet my hair. Got to keep my hair dry for 30 days. I hope this go well because I'm used to washing my hair. I don't think I can't wet it the whole 30 days. So y'all pray for me. I think I'll be able to get past that though. Just as long as it don't start smelling like that little, sweat. You know how when you work out and it get that sweaty scalp smell. I just hope it don't get that. Okay. Mm. Yeah, I hope it don't get that. But so far, so good. This is day two. Day two. Maybe I need to keep a journal of that. Yeah, day two. So we'll see. I probably need to start my channel, documenting my lock journey, coming in and just documenting, give an update probably once a week or something. I don't know. But I know I won't be doing that too much on this channel. I mentioned that earlier because I don't want to intermingle talking about hair and coming here speaking with the chosen ones. I don't want to do that. I mention it, but I don't want it to be all about that. Hmm. But you all, good night. It was nice talking to you all. Yep. Good night, and I'll talk to you all later tomorrow. But let me go to sleep here. Go jump in the shower. Hmm. I believe that, Cheryl. Oh, kids are very, and two, I want to say before I go, excuse me, before I leave, kids are very spiritual. That's why the enemy is after these children because they're more closer to God spiritually because they're at an age where they're not really accountable. So they're more spiritual and innocent. So that's why the enemy is trying to attack their innocence, trying to contaminate and pervert their spirit, because they're more closer to God than we are, the ones who are in the world and eyes have been open, to what's right, to what's wrong, and when we at an age of accountability. Go ahead, Jacqueline. Go ahead and go to sleep, honey. I'm getting ready to go too. Oh, look, at 4:44. Mm-hmm. I'll see you tomorrow, dear. Go get you some sleep. You need to get you some rest. Your rest is more important. You can always come back and watch the replay. Listen, I be liking replays because you can fast forward through stuff you don't want to hear, And then sometimes you may miss stuff. See, right now I'm just rambling. Right, I like watching the replays because you can fast forward or you can go back. Good night, dear. Or you can skip. I like watching replays. When it's live, you feel like you got to stay there or you're gonna miss something, in which you can go back and watch the replay. That's what I do. That's what I do because it can get addicted, especially if you like a person who's talking and they minister to you. You want to really listen to what they have to say. Have to say. That's what I do. That's what I do. When people are on live, that's why I can't go listen to I can't listen to Minister Kevin L.A. Ewing on live all the time because I'll be up. Like if I'm trying to go to bed and he's on, because I think he was on earlier, I would have been on there all night because I just love to hear him minister. So now later on, I'm going to go back and watch the replay. And then if I need to skip past something, I will. But 9 times out of 10, I won't because I like to listen to everything he got to say because it always go together. Now, if I'm listening again, I'll skip through certain things, but I love when he ministers. He was the one that got me, him. And first it was Tiffany Montgomery and then Pastor LAU. And they the one got me to wanting to read the Bible more, where it's more interesting. You know what I mean? Like before it was like this, let me be honest, it was like this tedious thing to do, like, like it was like a chore. But when I saw how both of them, excuse me, excuse me, when I saw how both of them like have a passion for reading the word and finding and trying to understand scripture, excuse me, thank y'all. That made me want to read, made me want to get in and really read and understand because of how they have a passion for learning and looking and breaking it down. I'm like, woo. And you know who else I started listening to? But I started listening to him more on a business sense. A lot of people don't like him, but I love him because he has an understand. I try not to listen to too many people because then you go to getting confused. That's another thing you don't want to do. Listen to too many voices. Always let God lead you. But when it comes to money and being a good steward, I like listening to Myron Golden. Myron Golden. Myron Golden. But I used to listen to Dave Ramsey too, because I like how he talks about biblical principles. But my latest one has been Myron Golden. Look him up, Myron Golden. He is, to me, this is my opinion, to me, he has more of an understanding of the Bible when it comes to money in the biblical sense. Yep. And I've learned so much. I listen to him over and over. I've learned so much from him because I want to be a good steward. I really want to be a good steward of what God gives me. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what I should be doing other than praying, but you got to have someone to teach you certain things, to get wisdom from those who um who been on the earth longer and who have the information. Yeah. And when I was listening to him before he even mentioned, I said he sounds like a modern day Solomon. And when I said that, like later on in his video, he said he would start talking about Solomon, the wisest man in the Bible. And I was like, wow. Oh yeah, Cheryl, that was the saying. Yep, that was the saying. But we pick up these sayings, and our parents picked up those sayings, and just because it was a saying don't mean it was right. And we are living in different times now. You know, we're living in different times, and as parents, we got to ask God for new equipment. We need, look, we're in a different world, and we need to go to God. God have to, Lord, I be asking God, give me a new set of parenting skills, because how I parent my first oldest two, I can't do that with the last two. Especially, I can't do that with the last one. I say the last one. Lord, give me new wisdom. That's what I'm asking for. Give me new wisdom. Give me new understanding, because we're in a different world. We're in a different world together. even if you are trying to teach your children, to have some morals and standards and values, when they go to school, all that thrown out the door. They got all that peer pressure at school, and the school system, they have their formulas and ways and standards on. It's just, we need a new set of tools as parents. I feel sorry for parents nowadays. I'm gonna be I feel sorry for these parents. I really do. They're up against a lot. We're up against a lot. I'm gonna say they. We are up against a lot. Not only are we up against the world changing, right? The world is changing. You got to think about, we're up against that. We're up against our children growing up, and they don't know if they're gonna be dating a girl or a boy. And they don't know. Look, they don't know. I told my kid, I'm like, listen, when you start dating, I'm sorry, you can't just ask about the norm of things now. Now you got to go get X-rays and ultrasounds. Not only you got to worry about a STD report now. Now you got to worry about, I need to see if you got a uterus or a prostate. Let me go get an ultrasound. Like, it's crazy what these kids are going to have to be up against. And you can't worry about what type of family they come from. Like, do you have a good upbringing? Now you got to worry about, were you born with ovaries? Or were you born with, hey, Psalms 46, verse 1. Now you're gonna have to ask, like, in your dating, like when you dated, now you're gonna have to ask, you got a prostate or you got ovaries? Which one? And it's gonna be sad because some of these children don't have a chance. Some of these kids are having surgeries out the gate. They don't get a chance to make that decision. Their parents making decisions for them, messing these kids up. And gonna have them confused because their wiring on the inside gonna have them feeling a certain way, although their parents went and changed their private areas, right? Yeah, although they want to change their private areas, you still feel a certain way on the inside because you can't change your DNA. You can't change your wiring. But we up with parents, we up against a lot. It's hard to parent now. It's hard to parent. It's hard. Then you got social media. You got social media raising kids, and you got all these trends, and you're trying to keep them away from. It's a lot. It's a lot. I even pray even hard. I'm like, Lord, just help me, give me patience. I'm like, Lord, give me patience, give me understanding, because it is a lot. And I be asking God to give me patience where I'm not fussing, and where I'm not fighting, and where I'm not jumping and jumping off the handle, flying off the handle rather, because it's a lot. It's a lot as a parent. I don't know how they parenting. I don't know how they're parenting without without God. Like, Lord, help me. I need help. I'm like, Lord, I need help. Exactly. Yes, sure. Better be ready for that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to get to a place to where you're gonna have to wait. Like the Lord was trying to tell us, wait until marriage. Don't get your feelings all into things. Wait until you marry and get your reports and get everything before, find out what you need to find out before you marry. Because I saw something a few years ago where this lady, and I didn't know these type of surgeries were going on back in the days. But this lady, she was born a girl. She was born a girl, but had, the operation to become a male. And her partner never knew. She never told her partner. It was on one of these little reality TV shows that I watched. It was on this little, I don't know if it was one of them stations I used to watch years ago. This was years ago though, but she was so nervous because she just felt like she was deceiving her partner, and that guilt she was just riddled with guilt because she was not honest. Excuse me, she was not honest. And I don't care what you do, we all have a moral compass. I don't care how far gone we think people are. We still have that wiring because we were created in God's image. So we're going to have that nudge of, that wiring inside of us. We can suppress it. We can try to run from it, but we got that GPS in us. Mm-mm. Yeah, but it's gonna be crazy. It's going to be so crazy. And my baby, just look at the throat. Look at the throat. They got an Adam's apple. That's a boy. But now, they're trying to make everything so normal now. So you just, this is just the new normal. Either you're going to stand for something or fall for anything. And I personally don't have a problem with it because everybody going to have their choice. They got a choice to make. We all do. Even if we don't decide to do that, or, we still have choices to make. And that's their choice going to be their choice. But my thing is, don't trample over somebody else's choice and their view because you want to feel comfortable with what you're doing. If you're going to make that choice, you should just make that choice for you and not worry about what nobody else is doing. Don't try to push things on anyone else. Because everybody have their right to believe and to say what they believe is right, what they believe is wrong, the same as they have, And there's no hate, and that's another thing. Um, just because you don't agree, that's what I try to get people to understand. And this is the enemy. That's why the enemy is at work. He's working quickly. He wants to make, just because you don't agree with something, as a form of, hate. It's not a form of hate because you don't agree. Exactly. And he's not going to be pleased, chosen royal. Exactly. And it's your job to tell them and let them know, whether they like it or not. And that's the thing. The enemy don't want you to call things wrong. Yeah, Raquel, go ahead and go to sleep there. That's what I'm about to do. You see my eyes tired. I was supposed to be in there taking a shower, but I just felt I had to mention this. Yeah, and that's our job as parents. But the enemy wants to silence that. The enemy wants to move everything that's righteous. He want to move it out of the way. He want to move it out of the way. But it's our job. And then, sometimes they have to go through their own, one thing about what I said as a mother, we have to let our children go through their own journey. Even if it's a journey that when we look at it, we feel like I raised you better than that, We have to be okay and let those kids experience their own journey, right? So they could learn just like we had to learn. We didn't always get it right. We didn't always get it right. No, we didn't. We didn't always get it right. We had to make a few mistakes to get things right. So we can't come and approach our children with this holier than thou attitude, knowing we've been through some struggles too. Before they got on this earth, we've been through a lot. While they were here, we've been through a lot. And I know it was hard as parent. Ooh, it's so hard being a parent. It's hard being a parent because you got to have tough conversations. Sometimes you got to let your kids hurt. You don't want to let them hurt. You got to let them go through things, although it's hurting you to watch them go through what they're going through. But when God say move out of the way, you got to move out of the way. It's not easy being a parent. It is not easy. But still pray for them. Sometimes you got to watch people, you know, use your children until they learn. Exactly, chosen royal. That's what I'm saying. We see people using your child and doing, doing things to them because, and you got to let it be. You got to just trust God. He's going to use all of that, all of what you see, all of that, what you went through. He's going to be able to use it as a testimony. Jeronica, you thought you were the only one. What, dear? Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. It's like so. It's so. Yeah. You got to just. Sometimes people do make parenting look easy because they seem like they have no complaints and they seem like, you know, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Chosen royal. Sometimes people look, make parenting look easy because they don't be complaining, or they seem like their kids are perfect, or no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. God is just keeping them, and He's giving them understanding and giving them wisdom, because there's no perfect nothing. We all gonna have to go through, especially if you're chosen. If you got children that's chosen, I'm sorry, but if you're chosen, most likely your children are anointed. Those kids are going to go through stuff. And you just have to be equipped and ready and ask God to give you the understanding and to remind you, you got to ask God to remind you when they start going through that you don't take it personal. You don't get into that after all I done for you type, that mama mode. I dare you. No, that's when you need to pray a little more. Pray a little more because they going through, they finna go through their little journey. You just pray God keep their mind and keep their spirit and soul. That's all you can do, because they're gonna have to go through their stuff. They're not going to walk through this life perfect and unscathed. I'm sorry. You want them to walk through unscathed and perfect? It won't happen. It won't happen. Mm-mm. And we got to be okay with that. We got to be okay with these kids not being perfect all the time and walking, you know, I don't know where we get this notion where we want these kids to be perfect. We don't want them to go through anything. We don't want them to make mistakes. And if they make a mistake, no, we got to remember. I know I do. See, that's one thing about me. In my teen years, I went through a lot of things that my children didn't have to experience. So I'm able to relate and understand them on a different level because I went through a lot as a teen. So that equipped me as a parent to be understanding with my children if they went through something, if they went through a season of learning, because that's what it is, a season of learning. But luckily they didn't have to no, I thank God, luckily, but I thank God they didn't have to experience some of the things, because they're sitting there. Not only that, their situation was different. They didn't have the upbringing I had. They didn't have the upbringing. They had more of a stable upbringing. They had a father there. They had a father there in the home. They had someone that they feel, could protect them, or someone that stood in the gap. I didn't have that. So our upbringings were totally different. They felt more secure and stable so they could focus on school and be children. They could be children. They didn't have to grow up fast. And I didn't want that for my girls. I want them to be, you know, children. I want them to be teenage girls and not worry about the things that I had to worry about. They could just be teenagers, do teenage stuff instead of grown up stuff as a teenager, taking on more responsibility than they should. But that's what I wanted. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me go. I'm gonna take my shower, you all. Get myself cleaned up so I can get ready to go to bed. So I can get ready to go to bed. Yeah. Oh wow. I'm sorry that had to happen. I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's all we could do as parents. That's all we could do. All we could do. And sometimes we don't be knowing. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna go. Sometimes we don't be knowing because I didn't know. I had to learn a lot of like spiritual, like warfare and how to pray. Like when I had my first son, like a lot of the spiritual stuff I know now, I didn't know when I had him. I wasn't as aware, like of like generational curses and like some of the things that my parents did. You know what I mean? That could just pass through the bloodline. Like I didn't know that some of those things had to be stopped. Like I didn't know a lot of this stuff. Yeah, sure we do. I didn't know a lot of the stuff like repent. You know how the Bible tell us like our the sins of our ancestors were passed down, you know, 4 generations, right? I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I didn't have that knowledge. You go to church and that's all you do, go to church. You don't be learning about breaking curses and repenting, like turning away, and we just learn religious stuff. We didn't know I didn't know how to say, you know what, Lord, especially like some of the things that I got myself into. I didn't know it was probably a result for what my dad and my mama did. Cause some stuff when you feel like you can't control what you're doing, them sins of your father and mother. And that's why that stuff repeat. That's why it repeats. Because it's the sin of our ancestors. And no one challenged that. No one said, you know what, I repent. I counsel this. And no one got into prayer and no one got into scripture to learn how to stop that, to stop it from running the bloodline from, no one got in to speak against it, to challenge it. Because I know I was dealing with some ancestral stuff. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I know I was. I felt them dark shadows and different spirits following me. It felt like I was stuck and heavy. I'm like, this ain't normal. I'm like, this ain't normal. Something going on. I was able to know to identify. And I know my mama dealt with stuff. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna share. I'm gonna do a lot of this stuff on Zoom. It's so much I want to talk about, especially, like me watching my mom deal with a lot of, spiritual things. I really want to come and teach on it from a reality perspective. Teach on it from what I saw, the behaviors I saw, the spirits I saw manifest and stuff like that. I want to teach on that. I want to talk about it. Oh, yeah, Jeronica, girl, listen, we have to stay prayed up. We got to stay prayed up with these babies. Yeah, we got to stay prayed up. It is being a mom. You responsible for a whole human, and you trying to do what you can do. You trying to do your best, But we need God. And I trust, and I believe if you lean into God, not I believe, I know, when you really give your children, give your life to him and let him lead and guide you the best way, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Yep, you'll be okay. But I really want to teach on that because I noticed things as a young girl, and I used to have questions because I grew up in the church. My grandma used to take us to church all the time, but I saw things in my family bloodline that I had questions about, and I just knew as a young girl, I said this stuff spiritual. Exactly, Cheryl. Exactly, dear. It isn't because people have contaminated marriage. You know, they have contaminated making it because the enemy is after marriages. They've contaminated marriages, making it seem like hello creative solutions, making it seem like um because people don't know the importance of it. To be honest, people don't know that marriage. Because when I got married, I didn't know either. I'm gonna be honest. People don't know how spiritual marriage is. They don't understand it's a godly covenant. And if you don't do it right the first time, and if you don't do it right the first time and come into the knowledge, right? If you don't do it right the first time, but when you come into the knowledge and you don't repent and you don't give that thing to God, it ain't gonna work right. It ain't gonna work right. It ain't gonna work right at all. Because most 9 times out of 10, a lot of marriages got people got married based on lust. Based on lust. They didn't do it the biblical way. They didn't wait to marriage to, do what grown folks do. They didn't do it God's way. And unfortunately, the church is not teaching the biblical way. They accepting, you being and what they call fornication, and then you get married after. No, that's not how you do that. If y'all had been fornicating, y'all supposed to stop that stuff. Stopped it, move in separate places, figure out if this who God wants for you to marry, then come back together after you got confirmed. But we just do it all backwards. We do it how we want to do it, and then bring God in it to say, God, you bless this. Look, we don't fornicate, did it our way. We built this off lust. So now we want you to come in, Lord, and put your stamp of approval on this thing. And that's not how he works. Okay? He don't work like that. But that's the thought of the world, We want to do stuff our way. We do it our way, want him to stamp it, and he's just not gonna stamp that thing like that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. But you live and learn. You live and learn. He ain't gonna condemn you. You just live and learn. And I don't know everything, but I know some things. But I know we are in a spiritual fight. I know everything is spiritual, and the world don't want us to. The world don't want us to believe that. The world just want us to believe it just happenstance. If you don't think things are spiritual, just look at what people are doing now. People are doing some of the most vile things. Like if you don't think that's demonic and the devil is in them, come on now. The stuff people are doing, this is something spiritual. People are dealing spiritually. People are doing some crazy things in this world that just don't make sense. The enemy is walking the earth trying to seek who he can devour. Anybody who let him in, that's who the enemy getting into. Anybody mind, if they don't know how to cast it down, and if they don't know how to tell somebody, listen, I'm thinking thoughts that is not right. Pray for me. Or if they're not casting down these thoughts and telling themselves, I'm not going to think this, and they're just letting their thoughts being taken over. Come on now. Mm-mm. Everybody know there's a spiritual. Everybody know there's a spirit world, but the people who should be believing in it. We love to say, well, if I don't believe in it, it can't harm me. That's a lie. That is a lie. That's when it's gonna harm you because you don't have the knowledge. It's going to harm you. And we'll say that quick in the church. Being in the church, I heard that growing up. If you don't believe in it, no, that's not true. That is not true. That ain't true. That's what the enemy wants. Wants you to be ignorant and wonder why your dreams be crazy. He wants you to think just what you're thinking. Because you don't want to seem like you don't want to seem like you spooky. You don't want to seem like, people may think, you think people may go to thinking you crazy. No, no, you can think what you want to think, but I'm going to believe. I'm going to believe. And this is how you know the spirit world is real. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get out here. Now, what example can I use? Lord, give me a good example. Okay, so you want something, right? You want, let's see. Okay, you thought about you especially from our creators, the creative people. Let me come on, the creatives, chosen ones, very creative. Say you want to make some earrings, right? You just thought about that. You thought about earrings. You haven't made them yet. In your head, you got a vision of how you want the earrings to be. And I shouldn't have to explain this so that so you can know spirit is real. But I'm just going to give you this example. You want to make some earrings. You don't have no material. You just know. You got this vision. You got these earrings you want to make. They look like butterflies, and you want to paint them a certain way, right? So guess what you gonna do? You gonna get the material. You know how it looks in your head. So now you go into the store to get the material. You want to find the wooden pieces. You in your head. You got the colors you want. Say it's pink and yellow and white. So you're going to go get the color paint you want to paint the earrings. So you're going to go get the little butterfly shapes. I made some earrings similar to this too one time. So you want to go get the butterfly shape. So now you're going to get the material. Now you went to the store, and now it's physical in your hand. This is your wooden piece to make your earrings. You went to get the paint. You got the brush. You got your utensils. Now you got it in your hand, physical of what you vision in your spirit. So now you're going to make that thing come to life. So before you just had a thought of it, you just thought of making those earrings. You thought about it and you wanted to make them so bad, you went and gathered all the materials. So therefore, you bought that thing from the spirit world, which is a thought in your mind. You bought it from the spiritual now to the physical. Now you're going to be wearing those earrings soon. Because once the paint dry and you put the hoops on there, you're good to go. But it was just a thought in your mind. It was just a thought. Come on. Come on, Skittles. It was just a thought. Now you don't make that thing manifest. Good night, Kiosha. Night, Kenyatta. So that's how you know the spirit world is real. Because you can bring, even when you're writing, you got these thoughts you want to write when you're journaling. Journaling is very spiritual. You're writing down your thoughts. You're writing down, what's on your mind, what's in, what you want to do. You're writing this stuff down. Just like when I was journaling, I shared with you all, go back to your archives. When I was sharing with y'all in that video, I wrote that stuff down 10 years ago. And I'm doing that stuff today. I'm doing what I said I'm doing today. So just imagine if I would have spoken negative over myself. And just imagine the things we have spoken negative over ourselves years ago. And if we didn't renounce and cancel that stuff out as it come to our memory, what you think is going to do? If my positive was manifested in the natural, what do you think the negative is going to do? Come on now. What do you think the negative is going to do? That was 10 years ago that I wrote that stuff down, that I spoke that. So we have said things years ago that were negative over ourselves, over our marriages, over us, over our children. That if we don't remember it and cancel it out, it's going to manifest, whether we want to or not. It's going to manifest. It's going to happen. Yep. It's going to happen. So we got to believe this stuff. Regardless of if someone else believe it or not, we have to know that our words and what we say have power. And I had to really start listening to that more and more now. Like, even when I told you all, when God told me I have to watch what I say, and it's true. I can't be rambling all off, just rambling, saying things. How I say it. Because it's going to come to pass. That's why it's good to pray too, against and this is why when you're dealing with, the spirit world, you got people who are going to see certain people to kind of like cast spells or something on you, or to try to harm you and your family. That's why it's good to pray against this stuff, because them speaking, a curse could just be a word spoken over you, right? That's why sometimes we can remember what people said to us from years ago that was negative, because it's a curse. It was a curse word that they put on you, right? They cursed you. Some people told you all you were never going to be nothing, or you're going to be just like your mama, you're going to be just like your daddy, if they lived a negative lifestyle, right? If they were on drugs or alcohol, had alcohol addiction, they kind of cursed you with words. So this is why you have to cancel that out. Say, I cancel that, and you speak life over yourself. You cancel out those words. Y'all have to Google some of this stuff to see how powerful words are. Google, what was that? Let me see. Google the study on, y'all have to go one day. Google the study on words spoken over plants, words spoken over plants, words spoken over rice, different little what they call it, studies that they did, where people, were speaking to plants, and the plants bloomed and blossomed. When they spoke nice things to the plant bloomed and blossomed and grew and just flourished. And they spoke to us. Are you okay? Huh? He flipped over the couch and hit the chair. Behave now. I'm thinking something is wrong. And they talked to the other plant. Excuse me, y'all. I was getting on my son. Get ready for bed. Get ready for bed. It's almost 1:00. Actually, it is, because I'm getting ready to get off the line. But then they had someone to speak and curse the plant and speak negativity to the plant. And that plant did not grow. That plant died. The plant's withered and died because the words spoken to the plant. I think there was a study did on rice too. Listen, this stuff is real. I think there was a study did on rice too, where the guy was speaking to the rice and, just speaking words over it, not really talking to it, but speaking words like positive words, and another bowl, negative words. And it was like the bowl that he spoke the negative words over, the rice got molded and all kind of stuff. But go and watch how powerful words are. Words are powerful, very powerful. And we have to believe this stuff. It's not just hocus pocus and positive thought and all this here. No, it works, especially if you use the words from the Bible. This stuff is real. That's why when people speak, people who you value, parents, speak life into you, believe in you, you flourish. People flourish and they go and they excel. But you can have them same parents or a parent to speak um negative words over you, and you remember this, you get down in your spirit. It's kind of like you battle mentally because you don't want your parent to speak negative to you, but that's all they know. So you have some parents that are negative, that don't know how to support their children and not happy for their children, so you feel bad about that. You feel bad because you want your mother to support you, you want your father to support you. And if you don't have any other support, and if you don't understand things spiritually, you're going to take that to heart. You're going to take that to heart if you don't know how to fight that. But that's a hard fight to fight when your parents speak curses over you. Yes, chosen royal. And if people don't know how to counsel and renounce stuff, that stuff will just take root and take off. I had to learn. That's how I overcame stuff, because I had people speak things over me when I was younger. I didn't know better, but they spoke things over me. Family members, they spoke stuff over me, but I knew who I was. Yes, it did get me down, at the time, because I didn't understand. I'm like, well, why are they saying that about me? I'm just being, I'm just living and being part of my environment. But I always knew God was going to deliver me, and I knew I had a great future because I saw it as a child. But those words tried to come in and steal the vision that God showed me. So I had to hold on to the vision and fight that negativity, fight those words, fight that stuff. And that's what I did. And that's what I did. Yes, chosen royal. And stay in repentance too. Stay in repentance. Repent every day. Repent every time you pray, and forgive every time you pray. That should be like your lifestyle. Repentance and forgiveness. Lord, purify my heart. Help me to release anybody that, I got a grudge against. Anybody who mistreated me. Help me to release them. That'll keep you stuck too. That'll keep you stuck. But I got to get ready to go, you all. It is 1:00. I didn't plan on staying this long. It's actually July the 15th. I don't stayed up the whole. Look, and I got to be up in a few hours to work out and to take a friend somewhere. So let me take myself to sleep. Let me go shower. But it was nice talking to you all. I can't wait to get my Zoom set up, because we're going to be over there on Zoom. I can't wait to get Zoom set up, because I don't want to come here on YouTube, because certain things you can't say, and they shadow ban your words, and I like to just be free flowing and real. But I also want people to come on over to Zoom so it can be, like I said, more intimate. And you're welcome, chosen royal. And I want people to choose and not just stop by. I want them to really choose to be, on the lives. Right? So you all be blessed. And it was nice talking to you all. As usual. You see, I love talking. I don't been on here twice tonight. Twice over here chit chatting. But you all be blessed, okay?